Hello everyone, it's Christy from Christy's Beautiful Life. Welcome to May I Scraplift You. This is my first layout, and if you have not watched my How to Kill a Kit with Style for the month of May, my plan is to combine the two. So I'm using Sunkissed from Cocoa Vanilla Studio. I just want to wrap up this collection. It's really beautiful. I've made about 5 layouts on my own with it, and so I felt like to kill the kit, so to speak, the collection, I'm going to do some scrap lifts that I've been saving and I really love. So I've highlighted a few papers that I'm very drawn to, and I've seen a lot of beautiful layouts already created with them. Take some inspiration and get them scrap lift. Today I think I'm going to start with the gorgeous rainbow paper. So I'll get the other ones out of the way. I love this one. I've seen a few different layouts, so hopefully you're seeing a couple pop up here and there. The one, I was stuck between 2 of them. One of them, and I'm so sorry because when I click on Instagram, it takes me to, I don't know if it's their actual account, but I'm going to have it pop up, the name pop up too, so you can see it, and I'll have links down below. But the idea is to kind of carve out the inside of the rainbow and then fill it with something. I was thinking maybe sequins. I could do this as a Spiegel Mom Scraps layout, something like that. However, my photos don't really work with that, and I'm going to show you that now. I have this photo, which is a placeholder. I want to snap a photo of myself when I get my Canadian passport, which should be here any day, and that's kind of my final thing before I feel like a true Canadian, if that makes sense to you. So I really wanted to document that, and I felt like rainbows might work, but this is kind of a placeholder. So that's one option. And though it's very exciting, I just didn't think that this was the right option. So I'm not going to do that. My other option was these cute photos of Barrett and myself. The problem I'm having is these are too bright, and it's his birthday, and the sequin one, if I was going to do the sequins, the idea of the sequins in the rainbow, this would have been the photo I used because the brightness I think would have played off of each other. However, I'm just not feeling it because what ended up happening is I saw a lovely layout by the fabulous Raquel Bowman, and hopefully that one has popped up and staying up now. And that is what I'm going to be using to scrap lift today. I love this layout. It's beautiful. She picked out 3 of the rainbows and 2 photos and created just a gorgeous layout. And so my plan is to play off of that idea. I have 2 sets of photos of Jackson, and I'm not sure which ones I want to use yet, but I've got these ones, which are of him on the first day back to school, not having to wear a mask, which just happened earlier this spring. So it was a really big deal, super excited. Everyone was very excited to not have to wear a mask. And I just wanted to highlight that because it's been their lives at school. And so I just want him to remember it as he gets older, that he went through that. And I felt like the rainbow, with the idea of the rainbow motif kind of symbolizing a lot to do with the pandemic, is a good option. My next option is these ones. So they're both of Jackson, and we were at the zoo. I just love the shot of him looking at the animals, and it's got some airiness and some fog to it, which kind of blends itself into this. If I highlight a few colors, it really kind of blends itself into this idea. So that is kind of my plan, the scrap lift I'm going to be using. I have 2 sheets of this pattern paper. One of them has, I think, like a little bit of here cut off. So I'm not sure which one I'm going to use, but I will get one of them used up. The back of this particular pattern paper is a very gorgeous blue, and I love it. I am not worried about carving any of it out for a border because of the fact that it is a horizontal stripe. It makes it so when you line up another piece of paper, let me just grab one for you here. When you line up another piece of paper, it's awesome one way, but then it's just a straight line the other way, obviously, because it's a horizontal line. I don't know how well that reads, but that bugs me personally. And so this paper is not one that I'm worried about using as a matte. I will simply use the blue in other ways in other projects coming up. which means that I just need to figure out which colors I want to highlight, and I can go from there if I'm going to use this full 12 by 12 sheet or the one that's trimmed down. Let me get you on fast forward. Let's see what I can create. Please check out all the links down below for everyone playing along. And of course, the 2 scrap lifts that I brought up for you to look at. The first one, like I said, I'm not exactly sure who to give credit to, so there will be a link down below, and the one we're scrap lifting today is Raquel Bowman. Let's get going.
That may have been the longest intro I have ever done. 5 minutes later, here we are finally getting to the layout. I'm going to start by actually fussy cutting out every single color. At the moment, I'm not sure what I want to do, if I'm going to do an exact lift or just take inspiration and then use my own colors with what I want to do. So I'm just going to fussy cut that all out. And while you watch me do that, you'll also see me switch my photos. But I just wanted to mention with the blue on the back side of this pattern paper, I was watching the lovely City Scrapper, and I love her channel. It's awesome. You have to go check it out if you haven't. But she was doing a layout where she was doing a border, and I don't know why I never thought of this, but instead of gutting out your paper, just cut some strips and then put them together. Like I never thought to do that. So I will show that to you because I do think I will highlight that. So on an upcoming video, you will see me use the blue and what I'm talking about. But if you do not like the way that a paper will look when you gut it, just think about cutting the strips so you've got your stripes going every way you want. Genius. It's so genius. Okay, back to the layout. So I'm looking at this. I did switch my photo from the one of Jackson to New Year's Eve of this year. So this is 2022. And I loved how this photo of us with just the contrast of the black and white that's available on the photo looked with the colors that was in Raquel's original. So the pink, the orange, and the yellow. And then I also really liked the idea of having it backed the same way she did with that same pattern paper. Now, I was not a fan of the yellow being the most highlighted color like she had. It was too much. So I flipped it and I'm highlighting more of the red in that background paper. I'm going to trim out the remaining part because the next layout you're going to see for May I Scraplift You next Monday is going to highlight the rest of that paper. I have another plan for that paper from another scrap lift. I was so happy. I was like doing all these things at once and I'm like, this is perfect. This is working out so well. I even broke out my sewing machine and did some stitching, and this is turning into pretty much an exact scrap lift in the fact that I'm using the same pattern papers in the same placement. Where it becomes different is I'm using my own photo, obviously, and the embellishments I'm choosing to use are slightly different, and where I cluster things are just a tiny, tiny bit different, what you will see in just a moment. But here's a close-up of my stitching. I just did white stitching. I felt like that was perfect. I'm going to trim everything down and then do just a small bit of color pop underneath my photo. It didn't need much. I really didn't feel like it needed much, but it needed something to break up between where the layer of the rainbow was and the photo. So my option was to grab this other piece of rainbow paper that I so love. It's probably my favorite pattern paper in this whole collection, that mini rainbow. And then have this cute bright pop of pink as well. And then I'm going to off center it so you can actually tell that that's the rainbow paper. I pull in the shiny gold glitter thickers here that says cheers, which is perfect because I don't really do a bunch of, we're not drinkers, so we don't really cheers. And yeah, when I think of cheers, it does kind of make me think of New Year's. So that was the perfect kind of nod to what's happening. And for where you can see in Raquel's layout with the pineapple and the flowers and all of that leading down to her title, I decided to place a Project Life card there. And eventually I will get to the point where I will add in some journaling. I haven't actually journaled on my layouts in a very long time. I have space for all of them. And one day I will sit down and journal everything I want to say. But for now, it's just a placeholder for that journaling. I'm going to bring in some thickers. Now, this is not from this collection. These are from the Buenos Dias collection, if I am recalling correctly. but they're the perfect color match. And there was another layout I created where I used the pattern paper from the Buenos Dias collection and the florals from this collection. So if you have both the collections, they do mix pretty nicely together. They're a very nice complementary mix to one another. And then I use a secondary thicker for the 22. So it would be very hard to find a pack of thickers that has 3 2s in it. It's not very common. So to actually spell out, or not spell out, but do 2022 in all numbers wasn't happening. So I spelled out the first and then I added the second one again with the nod to pink. And right now you can see it up in that top corner. I am not going to leave it there. It's bugging me up there. And the reason why is the Project Life card is tilted. So I'm not getting a straight line and it's just driving me crazy. So you're in the final photo, you'll see that I switched it down to underneath the photo placement. Much happier with that. I'm going to finish it off with just some puffy sticker hearts. And you guys, that's going to do it. I'm super happy with how this one turned out. Love the inspiration piece that I got from this. It's so much fun. And I hope you give this layout a try yourself if you still have these papers and it inspires you. Never be afraid to scrap lift, guys. It's always worth it. So give it a shot. All right, here is a look at my finished layout. Check out all the links down below and I'll see you all again soon. Bye, everyone.